Man, I'm going to take this in such a weird direction. My brain, as per usual, fractaled out in the different directions I could go, and and in the splatter pattern that was the options. The dead center one was, oh, a Tuesday, because I live a life of rebellion.
Hello, y'all. Welcome so much. We're excited to have you joining us today. This is Neurospicy Dialogues. I am your host, Kimberly.
And I'm Cara Jean.
And today's word is rebellion.
Yeah.
So keep going on that.
Right. I could have gone in so many directions. Um, but and maybe it's just because, one word at a time. So I live at Lost Valley Eco Village. We've talked about this in the episodes before. And it is a education center and an eco village that is trying to do both business and community in a rebellious and integrated way where everything is resilient and reciprocal. It's amazing. And we have a CEW this week, so Community Experience Week, and people get to sign up and come hang out with us for like a whole week. And it always brings the most fascinating people who are like, you do the whats and the wheres. So we had a investment banker and an engineer and a young mom who's like does Montessori schools, and then a retired ranger who is developing his own farmstead, and a young tech guy. Like, this is the crew that came in, and they can't. That's a diverse group, but they came in and they are like, within 5 days, they are a part of the rebellion. They're like, that's it. The rebellion comes with strawberries, y'all. We need to tell people. So, Tuesday.
Nice. I had no idea the rebellion came with strawberries, or I would have signed up so much sooner.
Viva La Rebellion.
I don't even know where to go with that now.
Also, I'll do it while you're thinking. I'll got one more. One of the things that has come up this week is that we're going to start guerrilla bombing the local area. And that sounds terrible, right? But when the hippies say guerrilla bombing, what they need is seed bombs. And they're going to make little seed balls. And then as they're driving around on the freeway, they're just going to throw them out. So wildflowers and food just pop up all over the world. That's my favorite kind of bombing. I feel like that's what we should change it to. That's how it should be now. That is
Nice.
the new rebellion. You will have
Nice.
flowers and strawberries. You're welcome. Aggressively.
There was a tree bombing, I guess, over the Amazon not too long ago, where like from a plane they were just dropping like millions of seeds.
When humans engage with nature as we're supposed to, it is
Mm-hmm.
really a cool relationship. Yeah.
Yeah. That's one thing that I'm really focused on. And I can't remember if I've mentioned this before in here, but with AI, that's something that is very much on my mind right now because I do use AI for a lot of things, but I want to offset my carbon footprint when it comes to AI. And so I'm looking at like ways that I can, organizations that I can donate to, things like that for tree plantings and and that because I can't, I don't have access to the tools to create bombs
Seed
that I can
bomb.
just
Yeah.
toss out the window. I don't know how much you could actually do that, or if I might get a ticket for doing that in Los Angeles. Um, also,
Most cities hate it. It's the craziest thing. They don't want flowers and food around. They don't like
yeah, yeah. Well, it's just in urban areas, like it's going to get mowed before it can really do anything.
it.
And so most of the green spaces are control like large green spaces are city controlled parks and things like that. So um same thing. If they're not aware something is supposed to be growing there because they put it there, it's going to go away.
Yeah.
So I'm my brain is reeling now, trying to think of like, where could I go and just, because I do have like some seed packets of stuff. I could just go somewhere and just, you know, send it out and see what happens.
You're not part of the resistance.
The rebellion is strong. So my like started with, of course, for many young girls, probably with Princess Leia was
Absolutely.
my first rebellion leader.
Yeah.
And she definitely was, oh, Captain, my captain.
Yeah. 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 General, my general.
Exactly. Yeah, and I had an older brother and an older stepbrother at the time, when I first saw the movie, and so it kind of felt like I was Leia with Han and Luke, because Luke was my brother.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I had a stepbrother. But we never, like, when we would like gameplay and that kind of stuff, I don't remember us ever doing like a Star Wars scenario, but that's too bad, because I would have loved to like pretend to be Leia.
I always wanted to be a Ninja Turtle. I always had to pay April a meal.
I never really got into the Ninja Turtles.
Mm-hmm.
And to this day, like, all I know is like what their name, like Raphael, Donna, like I know what they connect to artistically, but I don't like know their backstory. Like I never caught that stuff.
Go ninja, go ninja, go ninja rock. Oh, yeah, I know. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That was everything for at least 2 years, kindergarten and first grade.
Nice.
Yeah.
Maybe because they like pizza and I wasn't.
Oh, you weren't.
Like,
yeah.
Well, my mom, because my mom didn't eat cheese. She didn't like cheese. My brother did, but I followed mom's path on that and did not eat cheese. And when I was in high school at a sleepover was the first time I had pizza.
And you didn't immediately love it. You were like, ooh, bread and toppings. Let's go.
No.
No.
I mean, it was okay, but it didn't change my world.
That's fair.
I mean, I like it
have
now.
a hard time with that, but I love that for you.
I mean, the bread was awesome because growing up in the South, like, bread is part of literally every meal and a major part. It's not like a side. It's like the thing.
Yeah.
You put gravy on it. You put food in it. It's a pie. Yeah, bread is essential. And so that was good. I like tomatoes. But the cheese was kind of like, it's okay. Again, it didn't.
Italian pizza. Have you had like Italian pizza?
Well, I've been to Italy and had pizza there. So I think I have had the
That is
Italian
pizza. Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you, comparatively, this is just totally because I want to know. What did you think? Like, because they don't do the way that it's completely different. The toppings are different. The amount of sauce that they use. The cheese is like a chunk of cheese. It's not a covering.
I liked it. I mean, it wasn't like my favorite meal while I was there, but I'm like, I'm here. I got to do it.
Yeah.
So I absolutely did it. Yeah. Yeah. But I was there with mom. And so since mom being a non-cheese, so it's not like it became a main go-to, even as like a quick little snack thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks. I'm just fascinated.
And even to this day, like, I don't like the stinky cheeses at all. Not a fan of that. And it's purely for the sensory thing. And the same thing with so I'm not a Parmesan fan. So anytime I get even like pasta or anything, if there's Parmesan on it, it's like, I thank you, no. If they put it on there and didn't tell me they were going to put it on there, I'm like, oh, it would have been nice if you had disclosed that.
Thanks for the moldy salts. That's great.
I'm so sad for myself now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I guess mozzarella, because it's like so mild, like that's my cheese go-to when it comes to pizza.
Mozzarella stick.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
What is that, a meme? It's like, would you ever eat 8 cheese sticks like in a row? Like just pulling. People are like, no. What about a plate of mozzarella sticks? Absolutely. If you take those 8 cheese sticks and fry them, yes, I will eat the whole thing.
Another Southern thing, like we fry literally everything. So we probably came up with fried Oreos and everything else. I remember one time I went to visit a friend of mine in New York, and they were so excited. Said, "Oh my God, okay, there's this place we're going to go to for dessert. Don't get anything for dessert while we were at dinner, because I'm going to take you to this place. It's absolutely amazing. You're gonna love it." I'm like, "Oh, cool! I'm so excited!" Like, because I love cannolis. Like, what are we going to do? What's it going to be? And they said, "Oh yes, because they have this neon sign." And I'm like, "Is it Krispy Kreme?" They said, "You've heard of it?" I'm like, "We invented it."
Oh, okay, fair. If you'd never known.
Exactly. I'm like, when I was a kid, we did field trips and took tours of the Krispy Kreme factories. Like that was a normal thing that you do in the South. And we got the little hats that we would wear, and they would give us each a free donut at the end of the tour, which of course was my favorite part. But yeah, it was, and he was like so crestfallen because he was so excited about sharing this thing. And
you were
I was like,
new.
no, it's great. Yeah, I'm happy. Let's get some fried bread. Yeah. Dipped in sugar. And
like no part of this is bad.
Right. It's just not original.
Yeah. New.
Wow. And I have to admit, like, I will sometimes do that. And that's where I have like learned that so I temper my excitement anytime, knowing that it's not like what's original for me is not original for the world. And this was one of those moments that it really like crushed him, that this original thing. And I don't know if it was, I don't know what was behind the idea that it wasn't original to New York, or just that he wasn't going to be able to give me this first experience of a Krispy Kreme donut, or what the thing was. I don't really know. But it's also kind of a New York thing to think like you invent the world.
Sure. I could see that.
Yeah. Because it's an amazing city. And yeah, absolutely. No shade on New York whatsoever.
And they do invent a lot of the world.
Yeah. They have one of the best mayors right now, too.
Yeah.
Freaking adore him.
New York is crushing.
What was that?
I said New York is crushing it. And then I started singing New York, New York in my head.
Ah, of course you went to a song.
Yes, it is.
So is that what's playing right now?
That is currently what is playing. And not all of it, just New York, New York. Over and over. It won't play the rest of the song. That's yours.
Okay, so the needle stuck.
Yep.
All right.
New topic.
Rebellion.
What rebellion? Which is funny because part of this the splatter effect, of course, is Star Wars and Star Trek, which we already covered. And then my mind goes to the Browncoats. Oh my gosh, why can't I think of the name? It is
Firefly.
Thank you. Ooh, Appreciate you. um, because firefight, my understanding, I'm not a huge fire flyer, so apologies to everyone else out there who is. But my understanding is they're essentially the villains. Like they are, if you zoom out, they were the ones who were trying to change things or change things back. They weren't really on the good side, which is obvious because they're totally not good guys. They do a lot of good things.
Well, they are Robin Hoods.
Yes. Right. So they're not good guys, but they're good guys.
Yeah.
Right.
Anti-heroes, but it depends it depends on your viewpoint.
That.
If you're the ones who are being oppressed, they're the good guys.
Yes.
If you're the oppressor, they're the thorn in your side that must be pulled out and extinguished.
Yeah. And so when I think about rebellions, I often think like the things that we have considered rebellion, wanting to really look at that and go, is that actually that they were rebellious or a rebellion, or were you just doing really bad things and people didn't want you to keep doing it no more?
Yeah. Yeah, it is all perspective.
It is. And the narrative typically goes to whoever the victor is. So if the rebellion wins, then haha, the rebellion wins and the rebels were such great folks. And if it loses, well, those were the bad guys who were trying to hurt things. And aren't we glad they didn't get what their rebellion was thwarted? And that narrative, we all know that this is true. We all know that it exists in history. We still struggle so much as a globe owning that reality that we know is real, and then wanting to move forward in a way that is rebellious, and just recognizing that there are always more than two sides to the story. Well, that's one side or the other. No, there's usually at least six points of view coming into that.
Yeah, probably more, but yeah.
At least, yes.
Yeah. Because not all of the oppressors are going to agree. Not all of the oppressed are going to agree. And not all of the bystanders are going to agree. So you got so many perspectives that each have a truth that for them is truth.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I love about science so much, because it's not debatable. There's no opinion to it. It's just, the numbers. It's just the data. It's so, like, my nervous system just so loves that
structure, the cleanness of it. Yeah.
Yes. With the in the back of your mind caveat of based on what we know at this moment.
Right. With at any point this could change.
Right. So there's always an asterisk on it. But everybody can look at the hypothesis and maybe go off in different directions. But once you get to the end of the experiment, it is what it is. I love that.
Me too. We were talking about this beforehand, right? That the observable reality. I find focusing on observable reality incredibly soothing to my nervous system. While I totally vibe check and I totally feel the feels, I think I'm a meat suit full of hormone soup. I do all those things too. But when I try and communicate in that language, it's so subjective and usually shows more of my traumatic patterning than what is real. Oh, and focusing on observable reality, like, well, you saw this thing, right? And then we can point out the different angles that we saw this thing from, but we can agree that there was a thing we saw. And I just really wish more of humanity is better at that skill for me. We all work on that, Keith. That's one of the things I like about NVC, nonviolent communication. Okay, asterisks on this. I actually don't love NVC. I have a major, major issue with nonviolent communication because it was literally designed by men to make handling other people's emotions easier for them. And I got feels about that. That's not this part of the conversation. One of the things I love about nonviolent communication, the very first step is observables. That is the X before, and they do address feelings and needs, and then there's an ask. But the very first thing is what is observably true. Now, from what is observably true, what are you feeling? What is the angle you're coming from? Okay, what is the need within that feeling that is driving this narrative? And is there something that you need? Is there an ask that either you can ask yourself or you can ask someone else to help you? Focus on observable reality. So as much as I don't actually like NVC, that part, I'm like, yeah, more of that part. Not the manipulation part that comes with the NVC, but the really observable real. Like, let's train people on how to do that. That would be great for me. Thanks.
Yes.
Is
Well,
that a
it gives us
neurospicy?
a common conversation point.
Yeah.
And if the whole point is for us to understand each other and not just to manipulate and control each other, which again depends on oppressor, oppressed, bystander
Some
position.
people have different agendas there than I do.
Exactly. But even that like can be informative. Like just let me
Yeah.
know where you're approaching this from. Do you care about how this thing affects other people? Because if you don't, that lets me know, okay, so you're approaching this from oppressor viewpoint. Because I'm all about like, what's the POV?
Yes.
What's the point of
Yeah.
view?
And
That's
I'm
all.
not
Like
mad about it.
entertainment is all about that. Whose POV are we watching right now? And let
Yeah.
me get on board with that.
Because if I know, then I can adapt to understand. It doesn't mean we're going to agree. I cannot
Exactly.
promise that. But I can work my way into understanding. That gives me a leg in where I can be like, well, if I do look at it like that, it does look different from this angle. Huh.
Yeah. Okay. I see the
But
pretzel
that
you
hurts my
tied
neck.
yourself
So
into
yeah.
to see it from that way. I see that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So let's just sit in our chairs now
Yes. Now
and
sitting
look
up,
at
taking a
it.
breath.
Yes. And can we imagine, can you like set aside that? And what is your viewpoint from here, not from pretzel contortion, where you're twisting the facts and the putting a prism and putting lights on it and filters and all the rest. And I'm going to look at it through. Now, can you just look at it without that stuff? And what do you
Right.
say?
Set all that aside. Not forever. I won't make you set it aside forever, but just
Heavens,
for a
no.
moment so that we can
Right.
have this conversation, this engagement, for the length of this engagement.
Yeah. Unless you
Boy,
don't
but our
want to have
patterns are
this
sure hard to see.
engagement, in which case, keep looking at it through your prism.
And I'm
And
going to go,
yeah, and that lets me know this conversation is over.
love that for you. Want you to have that over there and go ahead and close that door. Thanks. Key, thanks. Bye.
I've locked it and I've thrown away the key and we're good.
Have at it, friend. Want you to eat way over there.
Exactly. That's the great thing about not living in an eco village, that it is very possible for me to completely choose my circle.
Yeah.
Occasionally, people will come into it that I would not normally invite in, and I have to deal with those people.
Yep. Pretty good
But not
system here where the
always.
community decides who gets to be a part of the community in an ever adaptive process, which is our RAP, resident application process.
Mm-hmm.
But it is one of the things that I find equal parts soothing and frustrating. Isn't that fascinating? Now, as I'm saying it all out loud, I don't even know where this is going to go. This is going to be fun. I I, because I really do value being able to control who I spend time with, right? Like spending time with you lifts me up. I feel better. My spice feels seen and heard, and I can be weird and we never have to agree, but we always come to understanding. And I just find it so soothing. And I want that in my life. I curate that in my life. And then I live at a community where 50 of us figure out what curating that might look like. And it has been an exercise in remembering that it doesn't matter where you live or even who you live with. This is for all of those who have the families that aren't. That part is less important than the people you choose to spend that time with, right? So I live with these crazy other 50 humans and I adore them and they're so fascinating. And there is still only a handful that I choose to truly, really go deep with because I love the others and we can go to those places. I just won't invite them over and over and over and over to be in because they're not you. They're not that vibe. They're not my people. They are my people. And being okay, this is really hard for this community. Being okay, living with people you like, and not having to have a deep, constant flow of relationship with all of them. It's like that they're struggling right now because this is the biggest the membership here has ever been. Like there's provincial residents and the membership who have been here for a while to be a resident, a member. So this is the biggest the membership has been. And they're like, we should stop bringing people in. This is too many people. We haven't integrated all of those people. And I was like, was that what you were trying to do when there was like 13 of you? You thought you could just keep fighting people and integrate all of them? That that's not how I love that. How's that working out? Oh, stressful? I wonder why. Ah, that's weird. Almost like you created it. I don't know where I went with that. Thanks for telling me along.
It was an interesting road, I gotta say. But yeah, like some people work in an office environment where they're around folks that not, but and I used to work in offices, and so yeah, there would be personalities that you tolerate and personalities that you would not choose to let into your world were it not for the forced experience of being in the office together.
Yeah.
Yeah. And families are the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's where it's two sides of the coin. You know, every coin has got every plus is a minus. And yeah.
Yep.
So I love that is my life, that I've been able to so curate it because I work from home and I can absolutely, and I don't have room, like I live alone. I absolutely can choose all of the things for myself, when and where and how, all of it. I love that. But I also feel like it separates me so that when I do have an experience, like I have to prepare myself for that because my nervous system is so used to this curated environment that when I go out into the world and I have to be there for an extended period of time. It's one thing like go to grocery, like blips on the radar. It's not a big deal if I encounter someone who is awkward or in conflict in the grocery store or in a place that I'm just breezing through. But when I have to spend extended time, it can get a little interesting. And that is, I'm going to segue this right into so is it just me? And I have been, we touched on this earlier and I'm like, I have a feel like this may come back up. So I had to, I'm doing a lot of like my annual physicals and doing all the things. And so my body is like, really exhausted from all of the experiences that I for whatever reason, I decided to just like lump it all in and take care of everything within like a month or two experience. And my body is stressed by that, seriously stressed. And so I had to meet with a nurse practitioner to prepare for a thing. And so with all of this, I have been very aware of and very curious about, like, what is it about these experiences that make them so incredibly challenging for my nervous system? And what I've come to think about right now, and I may think other thoughts tomorrow or in 5 minutes, but for now, it feels like it boils down to having to be incredibly vulnerable with a total stranger who is unsympathetic to the idea of what they are asking of the patient. That they are so in the heads. And again, this also goes back to whose POV is it? So for them, it's nothing. For my system, it's total rebellion, because I am having to let go of my autonomy in this moment. I am having to let go of consent in this moment. So with this particular nurse practitioner, he was really good before he started using the stethoscope and checking my lungs and my breathing and all that. And then he sat down and he just reached over and he grabbed my legs to check. And I was like, I didn't say anything in the moment, but like, I was so, you didn't ask to do that. And it's not like you were putting a medical device on my body to listen to me. This was your physical body having contact with my physical body in a way that had not been disclosed. And the idea that my being in the exam room gives a blanket consent is not true.
Right.
And I mentioned that to him, and I was very happy about myself, but I like, for taking that step and not just accepting, okay, this is the way it is. And he said, oh, it sounds like, that's white coat syndrome and, and I'm like, okay, kind of, but you get what that's about, right? It's about me being vulnerable with a total stranger. And he just kind of like nodded and then went on with like the next question he needed to ask me in his list of questions. And I was like, you just don't understand this. And I feel like if there was a place in the medical community where this was part of the curriculum, it would make such a difference. Because I've also been dealing with dentists, and I'm like, you like are literally entering my body now. And I don't even know the name of your assistant is here doing the things, and I saw them, but they didn't introduce themselves to me. I don't know who this person is. And that it, like, my system was very, we're not happy here at all.
This is not safe. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know if it's just me. Maybe there are more of us out there who are feeling this way. I don't know what to do about it, but I feel like saying something. But also the other side of that coin is, it shouldn't be my job to say something. Like, I shouldn't have to educate the dentist on what they are doing outside of the details of the medical procedure, but like how that affects my body and how it affects theirs. Because that's the side that I don't think that they get, that it matters to them too, to receive consent before you do a thing. Your body is going to feel different
yes
in that moment than if you just do it.
yes, you're not alone. And I know this one because there's the white coat syndrome. And uh, because of the hairstylist. Have you watched this revolution that's been going on? Yeah. Okay. So,
I have not, but I'm so excited to hear
oh my
this.
gosh. So there are a bunch specifically in the Pacific Northwest, you're welcome world, um, where the hairstylists, when you sit down in their chair, they're like, "Hi, I'm Cara Jean, she, her, how about you?" And so they immediately setting that standard of we're just going to treat each other as the humans that we have decided we want to be that day. And and then before they come, they're like, okay, what are you looking to do? And they haven't touched them in any way. And then before they go to do their hair, they're like, can I touch your hair? And they have begun asking for consent for each of these steps. And at first, a bunch of barbers thought that was real weird. A bunch of men found it bizarre that if you came in to get your hair cut, of course they're going to touch your hair, but you still get consent, friend. Like that.
Right.
Tell
Yes,
me we're in a culture that does not understand consent without telling me we're in a culture that does not understand consent.
exactly. It's like sitting in that chair is not giving blanket consent. Sitting in that exam room is not giving blanket consent. So I have decided that for the things that I have coming up still, I am going to make that part of the conversation. When they come in, I'm going to make sure that I know their names, that they know my name, that there is a clear understanding of I am giving them permission to do this. And I would like to know the names of everyone who is going to be
Part of
doing things that should necessitate consent. And yes, it's probably going to be incredibly weird for them. Just
good.
like the barbers, it was incredibly weird for them. And so I'm mentally and system wide preparing myself for this may be awkward, but it is
Oh,
definitely what I need. And
bless you for this good
if it
work.
starts a chain reaction, awesome. But if not, at least I know I am doing something. Kind of like the footprint with AI. I want to do something to offset.
Yes.
So that's
Make my
my
impact.
rebellion right now is to
And we
not be
thank you for your
silent,
service.
to say you are welcome, to stand up for my own boundaries and for for my own self to say I am consenting to this and making sure that that is out loud and it's not just the piece of paper that I sign um, saying yes I consent to this procedure, but it's actually more than that, and we'll see what happens.
Well, it's
It
definitely
may
not
make
you, and we
no
thank you
difference
for
for
your
me whatsoever, but I'm hoping that it will. I'm hoping that my body will feel better about doing these things when I am doing it from a place of consenting for it rather than having these things done to my body, even if it doesn't make a blip on their radar. I hope it makes one in mine.
and if that's all it does, it will be well worth
Yeah. And if it doesn't, that's information. So then I'll try something else.
it.
That's the beauty of experiments.
Science, dun, 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 science.
I have loved this conversation. This has been so much fun.
This has been another episode of Neurospicy Dialogues. We are so glad to have you here. Viva La Rebellion. I'm Cara Jean.
I am Kimberly.